Well, I think we know what we're going to be talking about here today, folks. Welcome aboard here to the Sports Talk Nation. Michael Cohen here with you. And, of course, we got some big stuff to talk about here in Major League Baseball, specifically here in the New York City area, as the New York Mets series against the New York Yankees has been postponed due to two members of the Mets coming down with coronavirus. Now, I know the story broke yesterday, but I wanted to wait because I knew something would come out of it. So we knew that the game Thursday against Miami was going to be postponed. We knew the opener of the Subway Series on Friday night, tonight, was going to be postponed, but you knew something else was going to happen, right? And of course it did. Today, Major League Baseball, the Mets-Yankees, announcing that the entire three-game series at Citi Field has been postponed due to COVID-19. And this continues what has been a pattern for Major League Baseball since the beginning of the year. And really, this was one of my biggest concerns going into the season. I've spoken about with the guests we've had on in past shows. You can go through the list of different shows leading up to the season with John Pielli, with Rick Laughlin. We can go on and on and on about what were the concerns going into the season. One of the biggest concerns was trying for Major League Baseball to manage a season, a 60-game season, with teams flying across country, region by region, amid a global pandemic. And for the most part, this year, it has not worked out. We saw the Marlins at the start of the regular season have, 18 players come down with coronavirus. Then we saw the Cardinals get the virus, and they ended up missing almost 2 weeks of baseball without playing a baseball game. And now, as a result, the Cardinals have to make up doubleheaders. They've already made up 3 doubleheaders already in the last week, as they're trying to catch up in the schedule. The Cincinnati Reds of earlier this week had 3 games postponed due to COVID-19, and now here are the Mets and the Yankees, for that matter, as the Mets are the ones contracting the virus. So I could sit here and rant about why we shouldn't have had a season. And if you've seen past videos, you know how I feel. We shouldn't have had a season amid this virus. There were a lot of reasons why baseball messed this up. Should they have gone into a bubble? Should they not have? Players didn't want the bubble, as we all know. Should they have just let the season go after having spent months and months of intense negotiations over money? While the other sports like the NBA and the NHL actually came together and had a plan to get through any kind of playoff or season for that matter. Yes, there are a lot of mistakes made by Major League Baseball, and yes, this season should not be playing right now. But the fact is, baseball is still going forward. They're still playing games. All they can do is ask these teams right now to increase their testing, increase contact tracing to see who else may have been in contact with said players or personnel. That's all that's going to happen right now. As much as this season shouldn't be going on, we're not getting any answers from Major League Baseball whether they're going to suspend the season. They're going to keep playing as long as they can, and especially when you have these taxi squads, I should say, with a lot of players, and you have like as many as 60 players overall on your entire roster, like 30 active players. They're going to keep playing baseball. That's just the way it is. But man, now here we are, the Mets playing in Miami, Florida, against the team that had started all of this with the COVID-19 positive results in the Marlins. And now 2 Mets, 1 player, 1 staff member. We don't know who that is, who those 2 people are. We don't know how they contracted the virus. Did they get it in Miami against the Marlins during the series against the Marlins? I don't know. Did they get it some point earlier in the season when they went to Atlanta? Maybe that. Maybe when Miami came to Citi Field. I don't know. No one knows. Did somebody break protocol and go out and have a good time, a la the Cardinals? I don't know yet. No one knows. But the fact is, now 2 Mets have it, and we have no baseball, no Subway Series for the time being. So for a Mets team that has had a weird season, let's just be honest, it's been a weird season for the Mets so far. They're 12-14. They're actually playing pretty good baseball for 3 days before this story came out. And won 3 in a row. And we're actually scoring some runs. and got themselves back into third place in their division. And now this is going to happen. This is going to have an effect on their. We'll see what kind of effect this has on their schedule on their season moving forward. Oh, by the way, they do play the Marlins again if that series does happen. Beginning on Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 25th, the Marlins come back to Citi Field. Now we'll see if that series happens. If we're going to go by precedent, you would have to think, depending on how the testing goes, that we could see more games here for the Mets can't get postponed for that matter. I want to say canceled. Postponed. Now, the next time the Yankees and Mets do meet up will be a week from tonight on the 28th. They will play 3 games, scheduled to play 3 games at Yankee Stadium next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those may be all double headers. This is how insane this season has been for Major League Baseball and for everybody involved. And speaking of the Yankees, look what they have gone through. You know, the Yankees have been involved in this from the get-go. I mean, when the whole situation with the Marlins and Phillies at the beginning of the year, the Yankees were scheduled, as we all remember, to play the Marlins, or to play the Phillies, I should say, shortly after that. And, of course, those games got postponed. They had to move a couple of games against the Orioles up in the schedule and, you know, screwed up the schedule for that matter. But the Yankees have had to juggle things around with their schedule as well because of this virus, and now they have to do it again. And in some ways for the Yankees, maybe I guess, I hate, considering the gravity of the situation, maybe a good thing they're having some days off here because they had lost 3 in a row to the Tampa Bay Rays, got swept at home by Tampa Bay, fell out of first place as they sit here at 16-9, and they're trying to nurse some injuries. Of course, Gleyber Torres now the latest member of the Yankees to now hit the injury list, which is certainly a big concern. Right now for the Yankees, as he's placed on the IL with a hamstring quad injury. You have Aaron Judge down with an injury. You have Giancarlo Stanton play out until mid-September, and then of course you had DJ LeMahieu who missed a few days with a thumb injury. So a lot of injuries for the Yankees that they've had to go through. The pitching hasn't been that great. Of course, James Paxton is also injured as well, and he's gotten lit up in starts. So they need a break at 17-9, but still, when you have such a short season, teams are trying to ratchet it up to playoff mode here in August after playing 20-something games. It's kind of hard to do. So it's one thing everyone has to deal with right now. But as I said before, this season shouldn't be going on right now. It really shouldn't. And now we're going to see how this is going to affect the Mets moving forward. Certainly, the Yankees have shown that they have been able to withstand some of the schedule changes. And for the Mets are concerned, they have been somewhat lucky up until this point. They have played 26 games, more than anybody in the major leagues right now, up until today. And as a result, how's Luis Rojas going to manage this now when this team resumes, and when that happens, we don't know. So that's going to be something to watch. You have a team that has been inconsistent almost all season. We could talk about the issues that they've had offensively up until this Miami series. Pete Alonso having a tough time getting started. Rosario having a tough time getting started. Issues with the starting rotation outside of Jacob deGrom, and even deGrom has been beaten up a little bit as well. So the Mets have had a lot of issues, and now you have this on top of it, and it's just, what can you say? It's not good. It's not good at all. You have to worry about one player's safety in this situation with such a virus that's unpredictable and dangerous. And you also have to worry about the legitimacy of the season. If you're going to continue to push games back, you're going to continue to have doubleheaders. Baseball has now had 34 games pushed back because of COVID-19. How much longer is this going to continue? How much longer can baseball keep this going? Because the fall is coming. We're heading towards September, almost in September. Now we're about a week away, week and a half away. We have a month left to the season. Then you have the postseason. What happens if a team contracts the virus at the end of September, going towards the playoffs, and it's a playoff run. Do the playoffs get pushed back? What happens if a team contracts the virus during the postseason? And that's what makes this whole thing about this of playing the season and trying to get this all in seems somewhat dubious. It seems baseball right now is doing everything it can to try to get all these games in. And as long as nobody gets seriously ill, and to our knowledge, no one has gotten seriously ill, as far as we know, they're going to keep going. So obviously this is going to be a developing story that we're going to keep following for the next few days, because I'm sure this is not going to go away, and I'm sure these 3 games are not the only 3 games that may end up getting postponed for the Mets. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can get back to baseball from the Mets standpoint right away on Tuesday next week, but this virus, this way this thing has been going, it's very, very unpredictable. So stay tuned, folks. Remember, follow us on social media at OpenMicNJ on Twitter, Facebook.com/OpenMicProgram. And also, remember, kill that like and subscribe button right here to the Sports Talk Nation. We'll talk to you next time.